Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I just want to thank everybody for their comments and those that subscribed. It helps me immensely, and keep it up, like and subscribe so I can keep bringing these videos to you. Okay then, let's get into the first video. Simple one, it's about speeding. Silver Mercedes coming off the A3 as we are as well, waiting for the gap, and then they just literally gun it past. Totally pointless, totally unnecessary. We're already doing 50. I mean, what was that? Maybe 60, 65, I'm not sure. Then we're followed by this one who's also just left the A3 and going to do exactly the same thing. Is it just to get past the learner? I have no idea whatsoever. But at the end of the day, they've done it past the A van as well as. It's just something where you're speeding and you don't have to. There's not a lot of traffic there. It's a 50-mile-per-hour road and it's a totally pointless action. Look at that, he's actually leaving on the left anyway, so that made it even worse really, didn't it? Okay, this clip we're looking at the two vans on the A3. Initially nothing untoward. The van in the middle decides to move over to the left to get out the middle lane, but he's not really paying too much attention to the white van. He's going slower than him, and he will decide to pull out again without giving us too much notice. But as we decide to pull out to pass them at this point, the van in this lane will decide to do the same without too much notice. But it's the white van in particular I'm paying attention to here, and it's what happened shortly. It's something that could have gone completely wrong. Ooh, interesting. What was he doing? What was he paying attention to? Not too sure there. Little shimmy and nearly hit the barrier. Very, very close indeed. Where was he looking? Okay, in this clip we're at lights just changing green. As you look ahead, we've got a queue of cars. One's indicating left, so we're looking to pass that. So we're checking our mirrors nice and early. We've got our right indicator on. We're looking to move out now. But the thing is, what we notice behind us is this car, as we've gone over the lights, approaching. So is he going to let us move out or not? My pupil taking necessary action here, because this is what happens in these situations. Put yourself in his shoes. This is where checking the mirrors is extremely important. So as we get closer to the cars, and this car's coming by, he's having none of it. He's just going straight past, irrespective of our indication, to get around these parked cars. Keeps going. I think that's really poor indeed. Ignoring the learner in such a way, just nice and told, straight on the right hand lane, and keeps going. Yeah, that could have been a lot better by this person. I think he could have been a little bit more aware of what's going on around him and people that were just looking to get past a queue of cars. Yeah, not good. Okay, in this clip here, standard 20-mile-per-hour road, car pulling out from the left. Now, why to me this is the issue why I put it in is he should have waited there. He's pulled out, may just slow down by half. The reason I put it in is look what's going on behind us when we have to react to this particular individual. There's a lorry there and he's getting a bit closer as we have to halve our speed. You can see him looking at the 4x4. He's not very impressed as we move on. Everybody done the right thing there apart from the car pulling out, so it ended up okay. But that could have been worse, certainly if someone's not paying attention. Okay, what we've got on this clip here is the car coming up behind us. In first case, when you actually look at this, the car's not actually really doing anything wrong. He's getting a bit close, but unfortunately he has, should we say, evil intentions. And if we actually look closely as well, you'll actually see that he is one of those professional drivers, as we'd like to call them. And as we get through the lights here, look at his body language on the car. He's pinching over. We know what he wants to do. Look, there's no lane there. He's indicating, but this isn't a place to overtake. It's a 20-mile-per-hour. It's built up. There is cyclists around, people turning right, people turning left. There he goes. He pinches through and he squeezes right past this bike and the van. It's just a poor show altogether, really, and totally pointless. But again, I see a lot from these tongue-in-cheek professional drivers on the road, and they do this a lot. And this is just another poor example of that. Okay, what we have this time is students. I hope their college sense is a lot better than their road sense. Why cross there when there's a perfectly decent zebra crossing a few feet away? The mind boggles sometimes, really, crossing the road. Okay, as we move on, White car coming out, he will be followed by another car. You can just see him in the distance, which play a part in the next clip. What we're going to do is look forward to see what we're approaching, which is another crossing. Lights red at the moment, we're approaching the left hand lane, and what we're particularly looking at is the two young ladies on the right who seem to have their head in the clouds. The light goes green, we start to move off, but paying attention to them, they just want to get across the road irrespective. The white car has to slightly stop to avoid them because they were about to step out, and they're going to step out again, but there's actually a car behind that, which you'll have a look and you can see what went on. They were about to step out after the white car. This car has to avoid them completely. Sometimes I wonder what goes through the head other than fresh air. Then everybody starts to cross, even with further cars coming down the road, and look, the car has to physically stop there. Well, people step in front of him. Quite poor actually, but there you go. Got to watch out for pedestrians. Sometimes they're on the phones and they're not really paying attention, or they just walk across. Okay, in this clip we're looking at the car initially behind us. They have a change of mind, and to be quite honest, this is how it should be done. They come down, realise they don't want to be in that lane, they actually want to access the A3. So they slow down nice and gently, get the indication on to say they want to come back across, take the time, they check, come across. That's a nice bit of manoeuvring that I'd like to see more of it. But the clip here is primarily, I'm sorry to say, about an Audi. I've just sped it up just slightly until we see the car coming through, and there it is on the right hand side. And as he comes past us, now he should be filtering left there. It doesn't mean he can't go on the A3, but should do so when it's safe to do so. But he literally just guns it across two lanes right in front of our car to get to the A3 on that slip road, and that's not really the way it should be done. It can be quite dangerous, just as well my pupil was paying attention. But as a join, he's not quite done yet. He wants to get to the right hand lane, and he does so without indication at all. Just crossed one lane, crossed two lanes, and then guns it down. At least I suppose he waited for that van to pass before he took that action. Okay, in this clip here we're coming up to a roundabout, a little awkward roundabout as it goes, and we're paying attention to two vehicles coming up on the left. I think personally they've come in on the wrong lane of where they are. I'll try and explain as we go along. I think they should have been in the right hand lane. The car initially up front is going in the same direction as us, so why they're over there I don't know, and the van behind is actually taking the first exit, so they certainly shouldn't be on the inner lane. As we move the clip forward, you'll see what I'm saying. The car will then go to pass us on the inside lane. We'll come to that. I mean, I think he should have been there. The van should have been definitely on the inside, because he's leaving at the next. Luckily there's no vehicles coming up from there, so that was his saving grace really. As we move forward, you'll see what I mean. Poor lane position there. Now he's going to the inside to leave. There's the white car passing us on the inside. It really should have been behind us in my opinion. And there goes the van, and is still in the middle lane as it leaves on the first exit. You know, nothing massive there, but they could have done better. This clip here is about a spiral roundabout. Now, anybody who's not familiar with a spiral roundabout, you enter the roundabout, you choose your lane to your destination, you stay in that lane, and it will take you to your exit. Very good idea indeed. If only people would use it appropriately, it would be very handy. That being said, let's look at this car on the right, which is going to A3 London lane. And is he going in that direction? No, he's not. Straight across with no indication into our lane. Just generally just pushing in, just not using the roundabout in the efficient way it can be used. Having said all of that, there is a couple of cars I want to point out coming from behind that do a very similar thing, just not using the roundabout in its most appropriate way. Let's have a look at that. So as we're coming around, here comes a car on the left hand side here. Again, it's going in our direction, completely wrong lane again. It's going to cut across, as is the Mercedes behind that, right across two lanes, both indicating, but approach the roundabout in the wrong place, just causing unnecessary confusion. And it could have been done so much easier than that. They're designed to make things easy, and they just made it a little bit more difficult. Or is it just they wanted to get in front of the bus? Who knows? Could have been a lot better there though. Approach the roundabout here. Make sure obviously as we approach we're checking to the right, make sure it's nice and clear so we can flow in. So you bring the speed down nicely, keeping to the left hand lane. We're taking the first exit, we don't see anything, and then all of a sudden there is a vehicle, but we think that's far enough away. But as we feed into the first exit, watch how quick that car barrels down behind us and gets very, very close. Yes, very close, not very good there. On this next clip here, this is where my pupil wasn't too aware and I had to react on their behalf. There's a hidden vehicle on the right there, I can see it. They took no action to slow down and I had to jump in there and brake the car. That van Royal Mail just doing his job, but he couldn't see us, and my pupil should have seen that on approach and taken some necessary action. But this is how we learn at the end of the day, and we make sure we have no coming together. And from that, I'm sure they'll take solace and learn from it and move on. Okay, this type of driving I have to deal with quite a lot on the road, so it's very important that I'm aware, as is my pupil. Just come off, we're just joining the carriageway and it's this individual here. I'd like to see a lot less of this on the road, but hey, it is what it is. The car is leaving at the next exit coming up in front of us, and the speed is totally and utterly unnecessary. Why did they not just get over slightly sooner rather than race past us and then have to go across 2 lanes to get where they were going? Well, it's wet as well outside, which adds to the danger on the road. Again, totally unnecessary. Okay, typical learn abuse clip here. I think we're coming up to a roundabout, we're looking at the van behind us. You can go in 2 directions. He deliberately takes that left hand lane, which is for left only. It's a feed off to the A3. He passes us, and as you look for the forward camera as we approach, you'll see that we take the appropriate lane because we want to go around the roundabout. We're not looking to feed off to the A3, and that's clearly what that left lane is for. As we go past, there he is in the left lane, then he starts indicating for some reason, cuts right across the lane. He undertakes us, gets onto the roundabout, and the reason we know that was just to get past us, because as we actually go around the roundabout itself and as we follow the view of this white van, he doesn't go in the direction that we're going, he actually carries on around the roundabout. So that was purely just to get past us. Okay, final clip. A bit of a silly one here. People may know this roundabout. Got the zebra crossing just before it. Cars are waiting on it. But the key thing is, what do they do otherwise? You're not meant to stop on a zebra crossing, but how the hell do you see to the right? You're blocked off. Your visibility is poor. You can't see. So it's a conundrum, really, isn't it? What do you do? The best you can, really, just be aware of people around if that happens. Okay, who's my choice of dullard today? I think it was quite simple actually, just pure to the danger of the driving, the speed, the conditions. It's got to be this fella here in my opinion, out of all the candidates presented today. And I'd like to thank you for watching the videos. Please like and subscribe, it very much helps my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next. Thank you. Bye bye.